it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets, and welcome to day 2 of the January hashtag event. So today we're going to be using the Julie Nutting Cling Stamp, designs for Prima. I think these is a Prima stamp. And this one is Megan. I always call them dolls, but I guess they're just like people stamps, model stamps. So this is the Megan. We're going to be using the MISTI tool. I wanted to use this as I've used it once or twice in a couple of projects, but I've never actually used it on camera, I don't think. I have some random supplies around. I have My Favorite Things black hybrid ink. This is my favorite black ink to ink anything up in, especially if I'm going to be doing anything with water. Or not here, but that's what I like to use. So this is the Distress ink in Sponge Sugar. I have that with the mini ink blending tool. I also have the Sponge Sugar marker, Distress ink marker. I also have the tumbled glass one. This probably isn't the right color blue, but I did pull a bunch of markers that I talked about in my last video. Some pinks and some blues that I thought might go together. This one probably is the closest to that bluish purple. And then potentially this, or even the Sponge Sugar, which I used in the last project. Those would be a good combination to use. So, but really any of these markers would work. You just kind of want to get it close to the two colors, or the Pantone or Pantone, however you say it. So let's get started. So what I've done is I've taken my MISTI and I have cut 2 pieces of cardstock down. So like I said, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do project-wise on this. So I just cut this down to 8 by 4 inches so it fits nicely in here. And then I've cut this is 12 by 4, just because the paper is, this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So, or actually this is 8.5 by 4. I just cut it down to 4 inches. So what I want to do is I want to do some selective inking first. So we're actually going to put the blue paper in here because I just kind of want to ink up her dress and get that done. I'm going to do that, and then we may do a technique with the paper. I don't really know. So this, since this is a cling mounted stamp, it's thicker than the clear stamps. What you're going to do to use your MISTI is you're going to take out the rubbery piece, this black piece, the pad that's in there, because you don't need it. When you use your clear stamps, you'll need it because it needs more of a cushion. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our paper in here. We're going to put the doll over top, or the doll stamp over top of it. And then it comes with 2 magnets, which you need to keep apart because they're very, very strong. I've pinched my fingers with them before. So you're just going to put it in place 2 spots where it's not going to hit the stamp. Then what you're going to do is, once your stamp is in place, and it doesn't really matter on this one exactly where it goes, we're going to pick up the stamp. So the reason that I'm using the MISTI for this is because I may not get that great of a stamped impression the first time. So if I don't, we can do it again. So I'm just going to not ink up her head or her boots. I just kind of want to ink up the dress. And it's okay if I ink those parts up because I'm eventually going to stamp that, but I don't need it in this case. Just add some Distress ink. I'm going to move this back in and press down. Now because this is a pattern paper, I may want to do it again just so that the lines are a little bit crisper. This is the first time I've used this stamp, so sometimes doing that too, you might want to stamp it twice. You kind of have to prime some of your stamps, and I've never used any Prima stamps, so I don't know if they're good to go the first time or you kind of have to prime them. So it came out okay. I'm trying to show you guys how much you can see that. It came out alright, but I kind of think I want to stamp it again. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to ink up just the dress, or as best of the dress as we can get, with the My Favorite Things black licorice hybrid ink. Press it down, and again with the MISTI you can do this as many times as you want because the stamp will always go back into the same spot as long as you haven't moved your paper, which is why it's a good idea to get these magnets. Okay, so it looks like it came out very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the magnets over to the side, and I'm going to show you guys what the dress looks like. So I think that looks really pretty. So I'm going to hold on to this, but I may want to stamp another one because I think there's something else that I want to do. I want to try maybe a different technique. We may have to stamp another one if that doesn't come out the way I want to, because I want to do some distress ink on top of that. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to close the lid. I just want to make sure that the magnets are in the right place. Now we're going to ink up the whole entire stamp, because we're going to stamp the whole doll onto this page, or this whole stamp onto this page. I keep calling it a doll. They just remind me of paper dolls. That's why. Okay. So I'm pressing, not too hard, but just making sure that all of the areas of the stamp get pressed down. And again, it came out with a pretty nice image. Now, a lot of this is going to be covered up because we're going to do some paper piecing. So that's good. Alright. So here's how it came out. Now her dress, obviously, if we do some paper piecing, it's not going to matter. Now what I'm going to want to do is this. I'm going to want to see how much. Okay. I'm going to lift off the bottom of her shoes so that it doesn't get on the background paper. This stamp is so easy to clean up. Wow, this is so much easier than the clear stamps. Wow. I'm impressed by how easy that just wiped off. Just want to make sure that I'm that's her head, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to ink this up again, just in case I mess up. I kind of wanted to do this again, just because I have a technique that I wanted to do with the dress, and if it doesn't look right, we're not going to even bother doing it. We'll do something else. So again, I want to put the magnets down. I know this is riveting footage, but this is how it all comes together. Okay. Stamp down for what, the 4th time? Okay, quickly ink it up again. I'm not a very good stamper. I don't always get a very clean stamp the first time, so this is why I am so in love with the MISTI. I think that it is a fantastic tool. And if you guys didn't see, I saw a bunch of videos from CHA, which is the Craft and Hobby Association. I think they said it was their 75th year. Ileana, I think is her name, the inventor of this, she actually won an award for the MISTI, and there's going to be a big one for scrapbooking. She's coming out with different versions, so she's very dedicated to this. This isn't going away, so it's very exciting. She really did make a good product. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so let's get back to this. Okay, so now I'm going to take the magnets out. I'm going to put this over to the side. We're going to put the black piece back inside of it underneath of the grid paper. And then for those of you guys who haven't seen how this works, on the back there are 2 holes here, and the magnets go back into them. Notice they're kept far apart. They are very, very strong magnets, so you don't want them anywhere near each other. Again, because as I know from personal experience, you can hurt your hand. So, the technique that I'm going to do, I'm going to move this camera a little bit closer. Let me see if that will help out. We're going to use this one, I think, to do this. So I'm just going to see, because it has the white lines in it, I'm going to see how it would look with some distress ink over top of it. And to see, and it's such a light color of distress ink, I don't know that you're even going to really see anything. So I don't even know if it's going to be worth it to do this, but I just wanted to see what it would look like inked up. So I think that it's honestly not worth it. I may do this blue skirt, and then maybe we'll do the top in a pink. We'll do something with the pink. So let me show you real quick. See, and this is the kind of thing. I think that if I went over it and really took my time, it may come out okay, but this is such a light color of distress ink that it's really, really hard to get it to look right. So now what we're going to do is fussy cut. Now, fussy cutting I'm not usually a fan of. I love when stamps come with dies because I am definitely not a good fussy cutter. But these scissors really help. These are Cutter Bee scissors, and they are fantastic. And I'm also going to show you another trick when I'm done this to make sure your edges look nice and smooth. So now you don't have to be very exact. There's a lot of pleating on this. So usually what I do is instead of moving the scissors, I move the paper to go along with it. And the trick to getting it to look like you did a really good job fussy cutting is to take a black marker and go around the edges, because this paper has a white core, as most papers do. And when you go around the edges, if you look and see, the edges will be white. So if you go around it with a black marker or a black pen, people have been using Copic multi-liners. I just have a cheaper black marker from, I guess it's AC Moore or Hobby, no, it's probably from Michael's, that I use that has a little bit of a thicker tip, and I'll show you how I do that. Almost done cutting this out. And again, this probably won't be a great job because I'm trying to do it a little bit fast so that this video isn't an hour long, because no one wants to sit through that. Okay. Alright, then we're just going to cut the V out for her neck. And this is kind of an old trick, so I'm sure that most of you have already seen how to do this. But I take, this is the black marker I have. It's a Studio G marker. This is the tip of the pen. I just kind of go around the edges like this fairly quickly so that it has a nice black edge to all of it. I'm not really sure if I want to do the pink on the top of the dress or if I just want to do her boots in pink. I may just do her boots. This one was definitely a challenge for me because it wasn't hard to find colors, it was just hard to figure out something to do that would mix both of these, the pink and the blue, in there. Single color is a lot easier. So there you go. And so you see it has a more finished edge looking to it. So now paper piecing is super simple. It's almost like dressing a paper doll. So all you're going to do is you're going to put that over that. So look at that. So let me show you. So once we glue that down, that's going to be her dress. So isn't that cool? It looks really, really nice, and it looks like a paper doll from when you were younger. So what I like to do to glue it down is I like to use the Zig 2-way glue pen. And you can color around just the edges. Sometimes I like to do the middle if it's a bigger piece. And the neat thing about Zig 2-way glue, if you've never used it, is that when it's blue, it is permanent. But if you let it dry for a little while, it turns white and it's removable. So you can actually make masks out of it. And I do that all the time for stamping over things. So it's actually a really cool, it's a 2-in-1 tool. So there you go. There's the doll for right now, the stamped image for right now. And I think I want to do some boots. So in my last video, this is what I did. I used some pink cardstock and then I went over it with some Distress Stain in Broken China and kind of got these really cool colors. But so, I'm trying to think, if you look at that, it might go. Let's see. I can just color over it and see if we can get it a little bit darker, maybe with some pink undertones to it. And then what I did was I just kind of took a paper towel and wiped it off a little bit so the pink shines through a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to ink up. I'm not going to use the MISTI just for this because it's just the boots. Let's hope that I get a good stamped impression on the first try. So I got a good stamped impression, I think. I think that's all of it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to cut this out and we're going to put the boots on and see how they look. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. This is a little wet still. It makes the paper a little bit more difficult to cut, and it looks like I double stamped this. But it also could be because the ink is still, the distressed ink is still wet on the paper. And we're going to cut the middle out again for her legs. I'll look at the packaging and see, make sure that this is all her boot and not part of her leg. This part is, I know that. Oh shoot, that little part was her, where did it go? That was part of her boot, not her leg. Well, let's see. Nice thing about this is it is paper piecing, so you can actually go back and glue that in, which is what I'm going to do, and then we'll glue the rest of the piece down. I accidentally cut off a piece that was part of the boot. And also with this, you can get shade and dimension, things like that with this. So you could do a little bit darker if it's part that's shaded behind. You can actually cut pieces off and then just put them all back together. Again, I didn't go around these pieces with the black marker. I probably should have, because I'm looking and I see there's a little bit of pink coming through on this. However, that is part of the challenge for this month, so I'm actually going to leave it. So there you go. So there is the boots for her. And that's the outfit. I think that it looks really nice. So I'm going to do, eventually I'll finish this, I'll do some coloring of the hair, and I may do a background for it. Maybe I'll do that for the next project. But I just wanted to show you guys how to use the MISTI, how to use these large stamps. I'm most likely going to be using these a lot for art journaling because I think they make really nice background standout pieces. This can be the star of the journaling page. This may be a single page and have some kind of fashion quote or something like that on it. I probably will do some type of pink background because there's just very little pink in this. So hopefully I'll be able to do a background for this and put it in my art journal, and I will definitely give you guys an update on that once I do it. But this is going to go in my drawer for right now. So I just wanted to show you guys how to do this and how to use two colors to create something different. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. And if you're not a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe. And I will see you guys again next time for the next hashtag video. Bye!